it's a lovely morning here in Cornwall, and a little break from working in the garden and on my new workshop there today. Now we've got a couple of errands to do today. Today we're going into town, we're going into Truro, so my weapon of choice will be the Mercedes. I could do it on electric unicycle. See, I think the route I would take on an electric unicycle would be maybe 25 miles. So theoretically, if I wanted to, I could do it on my Bigo Master here. Yeah, it's 50 miles. I'm not sure my stamina's up to it, but I think the electric unicycle would do it. I've added a few extras here. I'll put a seat. I can't ride seated at the moment, but that will continue to be the case unless I practice and I had a seat. So I got a seat. But no, I'm not using the Bigo Master today. So what am I going to use instead? Well, I'm definitely going on an EUC, as you can see. As you can see. Oh, is that a pun? I don't think so. So, what have we got? I could go on the Kingsong S18. Suspension, relatively light wheel, good choice. Or I could go on the 16X. Now, I'm only riding a couple of miles into town. I'll throw it in the back of the Mercedes, park out of town where I don't have to, it doesn't cost me anything, and then I just ride in. So, you know, mile and a half, maybe a mile. So I you know, this is overkill. So no, I won't be using either of these two either. What I will be actually using is my Ninebot One E Plus. Now, people, this is not 2016 machine. People will tell you all day that, you know, this is obsolete, it's an old machine, things have moved on. And there are other small machines. Ninebot do a 14-inch machine, I think. And of course, you've got the M10-3 and M10-4. But, quite frankly, this is a 16-inch wheel. It's capable of, 13 miles an hour. And, 12 miles of range, maybe a bit more, depending on how you ride it. So this is light as a feather. This is not at all intimidating for anybody as they go into town. They pretty much just regard it with interest and as a toy. But yeah, this will get me into town very, very easily. I can just sling it in the car. It's my go-to last mile vehicle into the shops. Another thing it's very useful for, actually, if you take your car for a service or MOT, you drive the car to the garage and take this out the boot and ride home. And likewise when you go and pick it up. So very, very useful. So this is what we're going to be using today. So I'll sling that in the boot along with that, and we'll be off. A small point I should have mentioned but kind of forgot is don't forget to check the tyre pressure on your electric unicycle, and that's a very important thing to do because the tyre pressure makes a huge difference to how well the machine rides. They're not big tyres, so you expect a little bit of air to weep. So that's 40 psi, which
which is good for this machine, I find. Yeah, just a small job, but I mentioned that. I think for any EUC, you really should check your tyre pressure every time you go out, because they do lose a little bit of air. You can put that slick stuff in it, which is I've got it in the Kingsong 16X. Haven't got it in this one. Don't think I've got it in the Begode Master at the moment. But that's not a bad idea at all. But anyway, it only takes 5 minutes. Worth doing. Okay. So we're off today. We've got the Ninebot One E Plus in the boot, and we're off to do a few errands. And we're taking the Mercedes, and it's a nice sunny day, so we're going to do our first little party trick, which is to put the roof down. Now it's funny, I've got the EUC in the boot to do the last mile into town, but I still love using the car, especially this car. It's some people seem to think that one form of transport excludes another. So you hear people saying very rude things about cycles or cars, or, you know, Adam, you know who I'm talking about. But it's like children that can't have two friends at the same time. You know, I only managed to be friendly with one, and you know, there's nothing incompatible. A little bit of consideration is all that's needed between car drivers with each other, car drivers with bikes, motorbikes, EUCs, whatever, and vice versa. A little bit of empathy, a little bit of give and take. So like I say, today in the SLK, oh, it's a lovely day. This is nice. So I've got the GoPro recording. I've got this Garmin camera recording. I've also got the Insta360 in the boot for when I'm riding the electric unicycle. The GoPro is not going to run for very long because the battery's flat, and I didn't bring any spares and I forgot to check it. So I'm sorry about that. So I'll put some going forward footage in. Not necessarily when I filmed it in the camera recording. I've also got the Insta360 in the boot for when I'm riding the electric unicycle. The GoPro is not going to run for very long because the battery's flat and I didn't bring any spares and I forgot to check it. So, nice day here in Cornwall, in the UK. I've got somebody out on his cycle there. This is a route I ride a lot on the electric unicycle. It's my milk run into town. It's only, I don't know, 3.5 miles. Yeah, 3.5 miles. So I mean, we're stuck in traffic now. It's busy. There's only I live on the Lizard in Cornwall, if you want to look that up. There's really only one main road onto the Lizard, so at some times of the day it gets quite busy. And you've also got the airbase here, Coldrose Airbase. So when they're pouring out the gate, that also slows the traffic down here. What I tend to do is, as I go past the gate, I let them come out, one in front and, you know, one for one, and that keeps both sides moving, and it's courteous as well. But some people think I'm on the main road and charge past and leave the guys in the Coldrose standing there. And other people think they're being super friendly and let everybody come out of the station, and then they clog the main road. So but it takes all sorts. So, first order of business, like I said, we've got some little chores to do today. First order of business is just to drop a prescription into my doctor's, just for eye drops. And so we'll do that. Then that's into Helston, and then we're on to Truro, and I've got a few little jobs to do in town. And I think I said before, but I park out of town because I hate paying for parking. I mean, it's one of my I do not. I mean, I pay God knows how much tax for my fuel. I pay road tax, and because it's a 3.5 litre in the environment, they tax you. You know, it's just an excuse to tax. It's not nothing to do with the environment. So you know, to pay to be able to stop as well when they line the town with lines saying you can't park here, you can't park here. So you know, it's a scam. So I won't do it. I will not pay for parking. And it's an excuse to use my electric unicycle anyway, which is fun. We're moving. Well, we're not moving, but Q's moving. So there might be traffic lights up here actually. We've got a road sign there. Sometimes when they're cutting the grass in there, they'll actually put road signs up when they're working on the road. But anyway, this isn't very interesting, so I'm going to switch you off. Yeah, there's traffic lights up here. So we'll switch you off until things get more interesting.
Okay, I just delivered, this is Beneath Street Surgery. I just delivered, car's looking nice in the sunshine, isn't it? Just delivered my prescription to my doctor's. So now we are on the way to Truro. So I was going to switch you on, but I don't think you'll be interested in this drive into Truro. Actually, the drive into Truro gets quite pretty at one point. When we get a bit closer, I'll kind of film a bit more. But okay, here we go then. Right, so we dropped my prescription off the doctor's, and now we are on the way to Truro. So I'm in the SLK. I mean, I was saying about riding unicycles versus cars, but I love this car. Mercedes SLK, a little too sports car. Look at that. Whoa, here we go. No, that's too much fun to be legal. So lovely sunny day like today, roof down, and I'm in my sports car. I mean, how good's that? Roads are a bit busy at the moment, and that's because we're in June and Cornwall is a tourist area. They call it silly season, which is a little bit unkind, but it's because of the silly things that tourists do. You would believe it. Having said that, I'm not against tourism, and I like the summer. People come down there on holiday. They're always in a good mood because they're on holiday, and they're intending to be in a good mood, and you know, it's infectious. So you know, I like it, and I like in the winter. Cornwall's a very different place. I mean, you could be medieval, so you go out on the coast on a winter's day in Cornwall, and you think you're in the back of beyond. Very, very desolate. You know, some of the roads, when you go out towards Land's End, some of the roads out there, you think,
my God, break down out here at night and you could die and nobody would notice. But in the summer, completely different, very touristy. Summer, you know, days like today, out driving in the sunshine, roof down, lovely, absolutely lovely. And you know, and I live in a very nice area. This is the estuary that goes into Truro River and out to the sea. That's it. So yeah, so it's good. This is a nice little bit of road here through the trees. Always liked it. I wasn't filming before, but I just came through the roundabout there. I noticed in the States in particular, you don't seem to like roundabouts. You have traffic lights everywhere, which is a right pain in the arse, sitting there waiting at red lights. I mean, we have traffic lights here as well, but a lot more roundabouts. And roundabouts are far more convenient. So he says that just as I'm about to get all jammed up in a roundabout by looks of things. But in generally, you tend to go through roundabouts quicker than traffic lights. Yeah, see, I'm in a line going into the roundabout, but it's feathering through, it's not actually stopped. There's a good EUC ride just here that I haven't tried yet. It goes off down that way. Yeah, it's just on the left here, look, cycle route. And I've got to do this. Devon we are. I know there's a good route down there, and I'm going to have to bring my. I think we've got parking on that side. Park up that side, and then ride off down there. So I'm going to do that this summer. Probably I could either do it on the Big Old Master or on the SAT, which is I think it's, you know, it's a trail. I don't think it's tarmac, so I prefer to do it on something with suspension. The SAT would be perfect, except for range. Depending on how far I'm going to go, it's a toss-up between that or the Big Old Master. Probably the SAT. Okay. Now, on something with suspension. The SAT would be perfect, except for range. Depending on how far I'm going to go, it's a toss-up between that or the Big Old Master. Probably the SAT. Okay. Now, dual carriageway. Whoa! How fun's that? Watch me speed a little bit. Now it's 70. So that's 70. But isn't that fun? That is just so much fun. And you get a nice timber from that exhaust as well. Try and keep it legal though. So another roundabout. We'll see how quickly we go through this roundabout. Yeah, but it's nice to be out in the SLK. I'm a big fan of this Mercedes, but it's not without its problems. modern cars, they don't do the rust protection underneath the way they should. The Honda Civic, which is sitting in my drive at the moment, that is off the road now, and that's all corrosion underneath. I mean, the car's sweet. The engine is as good as the day the car was made. There's nothing else wrong with the car except corrosion underneath. And this thing was exactly the same. Mercedes SLK, there's a weakness in this car of the rear subframes. They all rot out without exception. It's blooming expensive to get it changed, although I think now that I've actually paid to do mine, I think Mercedes are doing it for free now because they realise that it's destroying their reputation. But no, it's unforgivable. They're not putting enough protection. They think because it's under the car and the owners can't see it doesn't matter. Well, it does. And another place this car suffers is in the wings. Again, a nice coat of paint on the top, all very shiny on top, and underneath no protection whatsoever. So, you know, you get rust and corrosion at the bottom of your wings. And, you know, for a halfpenny of tar, the thing would be alright. So, Mercedes, not bloody good enough. It's not as if these things were cheap. I mean, this car, when it's new, I think it was up 37,000 miles, some astronomical figure. I mean, I didn't buy it new. This one's a little bit unusual in that I've got the manual box. I mean, Mercedes are selling sports cars now without putting manual boxes. I mean, what? Why would you buy a sports car as an automatic? I mean, why? I'm not a fan of automatics. I can understand people buy automatics, you know, live in the city, it makes sense, I guess, but not for me. I'm a driver's. It's a driver's car, and I like to choose the gear I'm in, thank you very much. I mean, when I take this car in for service, although I kind of done it myself, but when it has been in for work, Mercedes lent me a Mercedes 200, I think it was, automatic, you know, like, I don't know, something ridiculous now of automatic gears. About 11 automatic gears to choose for, it's never in the right bloody one. And they got paddles, but it kind of vetoes you. You say, I want to go change down, and if it doesn't want to, it won't. And the other thing is, if you say you're about to overtake something, you say change down, you push the paddle down, and you don't do anything for 20 seconds, it changes back up again. And I'm thinking, no, if I said down, I meant down. Ugh, drives me crazy. I mean, automatics. Many years ago, my father liked Jags and they were automatics, but you could override them. And I used to drive my dad's car, and he used to tell me off because I was forever forcing it into this gear and that. And he'd tell me, Robin, he says, this car's an automatic, you don't have to do that. And I say, yeah, but if it was in the gear I wanted, I wouldn't. I mean, they've got, on this one, on the automatic version of this, they've got like what they call sport mode, which means it hangs on to lower gears. But then what you find is you're going along in a steady line where you could be hanging onto a high gear and it's hanging onto a low one. So even then it doesn't get it right. So yeah, damn frustrating. And they want to make autonomous cars, and they still haven't made a bloody gearbox that puts you in the right gear. Right, so we are coming into Truro now. So look at this, city centre, bloody lit up signs telling you if the car parks are empty or not. What a waste of money. Bloody graffiti, more greeting, road junk, wasting our money, painting lines and putting up signs you don't need. Not good enough, bad enough putting a bloody sign up at all, that it has to be bloody lit up like a bloody Christmas tree. Not that I pay any attention to it. You can say car park's empty. Well, like I say, I don't like using car parks anyway. I park where I don't have to pay. But if I do get forced, I pay no attention to those signs. I park where I want to park, and you know, I'll find a place. Right, we were talking about roundabouts. This is a funny one. It generally works quite well, but it's a very, very busy road junction. But there's like too many roundabouts by each other, and it confuses people a little bit. The locals get through it all right, but anybody from out of town, they get a bit hesitant and they miss their opportunities to go because they're not quite sure what's going on with the junction. I used to live about a mile or two down that way. This is called Arch Hill. I came up Arch Hill in my BMW years ago, and there was a sudden almighty squeal from the front of the car, and then the engine overheated. And what it was is the water pump bearing seized, and it broke the fan belt, and that was that. And then I had to get the car. Well, that was a story, getting the car to the BMW garage. Right. He ain't gonna go. I don't know why he didn't go. He had right away. Right, so this is Arch Hill, going down towards the river. This is Truro River down the bottom there. Very pretty down here. Well, except for the Newham estate. There's Truro Cathedral. Roundabouts, much better. Just go straight through. Don't have to worry about blooming lights. And now, funny thing is, next roundabout got lights on the roundabout. Now that's a silly bloody idea. Take away the advantage of the roundabout by putting bloody lights on. Crazy. Have one or the other. But I don't know, you've got these spotty teenagers coming out of university getting these ideas. So now, nothing coming from the right, lights are red, and we're all stopped. Look at that, nothing circulating from the right at all. There's nothing to stop us going through. Yeah, one car now. So we're all held up because of lights. Whereas if it was just a regular roundabout, you would have just gone through. Given way to the car on the right when he came through, everybody would have been happy. Again, more lights. Pain in the arse. So that didn't hold us up too long, but if there had been no lights there, we wouldn't have been held up at all. So anyway, we're off to Mountless now. So this is down the side of Truro River. This is where I park. So, you know, we were closer to town. Now we're driving out of town. So I will come back down this way on my unicycle a little bit later on. Here's another stupid idea. Putting obstructions in the road and to speed up, so they went to town here and got it all. Yeah, suspension killers, scrub your tyre walls, break your coil springs. all a pain in the arse. Right, so Truro River, very, very pretty little bit. Used to have a boat down here, used to have a fishing boat called Eileen. It was a project, as all my boats are. But I did quite a lot of work on it. Used to bring the kids down, they play around in the river, had a fine old time. Used to upset my wife because I'd take them home covered in mud. But they enjoyed themselves. Park. Now, in the past I parked up here because there's a bit of parking here on the right hand side, so just on the right there. But because it's such a nice sunny day, we will go a bit further. We'll go to Sunny Corner, which is going to live up to its name today. We'll park there. Simply because it's nice. This is a cricket club. This is Sunny Corner Cottage. That went for auction many years ago. It went for an absolute fortune. Couldn't believe it. Right, this will do. We will park here. Right, let's see. What I should have done and didn't is put the roof up. So put the roof up, and then we'll be out. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Looking over the estuary there. Woo! That's a great party trick, isn't it? It takes about, well, I think the book says it takes 22 seconds to put the roof up. Right, let's go and get the wheel out of the boot. Now, isn't that nice? It's very peaceful down here as well. Right. 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 So that's the separator, so you can put the roof down. If you push that back like that, the roof will no longer come down. So we've got me hat. We've got that's a 360 camera. The wheel, of course, and wrist guards. So look at this. Why didn't I bring the Bigo Master, you say? Because I can hold my camera in one hand and just lift the wheel out of the car one-handed with the other. Now, you guy who've got, you know, the Bigo Master Pro, eat your heart out. So I've got my wrist guards. Got my hat. I have the camera. In fact, I might leave that in the boot in a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get set up here. Going to get set up here, and then we'll be off.
Right, so I left my wheel at the dentist because I'm half an hour early. So what I'm going to do now is just walk into town. So like I say, I'm in Truro. I couldn't the Insta360 battery was flat, so I was going to record the trip into town. I've done it before actually, this trip. There's another YouTube video on my channel of me riding into Truro from where I've parked up today. But yeah, that Insta360 batteries don't seem to hold their charge. If you don't use a camera for a few weeks, you come back and the battery's flat, which is what's happened today. So I had EUC World running. On the phone, so I suppose I could have used the camera at the same time, but too many apps running on the phone at the same time is a recipe for disaster, I found in the past. But no, nice sunny day. Just a little wander into town. 11:05, appointment's 11:30. Here's the museum. We had an exhibition there a little while back. We were in satellite communications, and we had a satcoms exhibition there showing the history of Goonhilly, where I worked, and the progress in satellite communications. Right, where are we? This is the road into Truro, going up to the roundabout top of Arch Hill, and this goes back towards Falmouth. And I just came up the trail here. I don't think I'm going to go any further. I'm only on the Ninebot. I could go further, but I've got other things to do today. But look at that, there's a let's get off this a minute. There we go. So yeah, so what we got there, that's the sign into Truro, look. But yeah, so I'm going to have to do this. This goes up to where Sainsbury's is in Truro, and that goes back down towards Truro River, which is where I come from. But yeah, that's as much as I'm going to do today. But very good. Right, so we went a little bit further. We went a little bit further than I was going to go. I went out on that Newham Trail, and I went out as far as the railway bridge across the Truro Falmouth Road. So I never anticipated riding that far. So party trick again. Put the roof away. Got to drive around in the sunshine, haven't we? So yeah, a nice ride. We did the dentist, so that's all done. We rode into Truro and back. Couldn't record it because the Insta360 battery was flat. That's my bad. But we did go a little bit further than I was intending to ride on there. In fact, the Ninebot's down to 36 battery. What I'll do, when I put this video up
make up my YouTube video, I don't know why that's beeping. It shouldn't beep. Oh, maybe, yeah, it's the GoPro turning off. Flat battery. So, yeah, where was I? Yeah, so I'll put because I had a UC World running when I came back from that little excursion, so I'll put that route up. I can probably do a relive thing of that. That might be quite interesting for that route. We'll try it because it's only short. But yeah, nice sunny Truro. Driving my car again. Some ducks flying through there. Lovely ride. Really nice in town. Met some interesting people today, actually, as you do when you ride, especially on the Ninebot, because it's slow and you know you're making more gentle progress. There's a tendency to stop and engage with people more than, say, on the Master. So, thing to do now, we'll head for home. I'm going to stop off in Tesco's supermarket, but won't go to won't do the Truro Tesco's. I'll stop off in the Helston Tesco's, which is only 4 miles from home. Pick up a couple of odds and ends, and then home, and that. Right, at Tesco's, off again. Didn't have to go into the, didn't have to go in the store itself. They had sandwiches and milk, which is all I really wanted. In the petrol station, so I bought them there. Do you know that was over 90 quid? Fill up a little 2-seat sports car, 90 quid. Isn't that disgraceful? And most of that is just tax, which the government will squander and give to their chums. Yeah, so I ride the electric unicycles up here quite often. So a bit of a milk run up this way. If you want to go into the shops or anything, just to buy an odd item, and it's, you know, sunny day, you know, I take the car. It's much nicer on the UC. Fortunately, there's really good paths here. They're really wide. And they're cycle paths, not just pedestrian. This road junction on the corner of my house. We get a lot of accidents on this road junction. I don't understand the junction very well. I don't realise it's a lot more dangerous than it looks. Which is why my drive is further down here now. I moved that skid. Oh dear, there we go. Right, my reversing skills, boy. So we'll go back here, get a bit of lock on there, and then a bit of lock on here. And get lined up for the garage. Put the roof back up. 22 seconds I said, didn't I? I have to measure it one day, see if they were telling the truth. It seems about right. Last bit was judders. Right, very roof closed. So that's it. So we can switch off. Okay, that's it. Home, and edit this together with some footage. Sorry I didn't get the Insta360 footage. I've got caught like that before. I'll have to remember next time. But anyway, we've still got enough to be interesting, I think. So cheers for now.